Hey y'all, this is Tamika, the face behind Hey HR, and I am just ready to tell y'all what is the difference between recruiting and talent acquisition. And more so than just what's the difference between the two of those, what's the difference between those type of employees? So what's the difference between a recruiter and a talent acquisition professional? So that's your talent acquisition specialist, manager, that type of thing. So if you guys want to know the difference between the two, then you definitely want to keep on watching. So let's dive into it. Recruitment is really just filling a spot that's open. It's very, very reactive. So now we've lost this employee, or we've experienced this high attrition rate, and now we need to plug these holes. You're going to dive into recruitment mode. But talent acquisition is more strategic. Talent acquisition is more proactive. It's saying these are the goals we're aiming for. These are the KPIs that we're aiming for. These are the contracts that we should be getting. These are the mergers and acquisitions that we'll probably be experiencing. And we need strategic fills for those positions. And so now we're going to fill for forecasting for a bigger project, or all of these changes, or any of these changes that may be coming in the future. Obviously, your talent acquisition folks can also fill those quick fills, but their biggest focus is more of a proactive, strategic approach. And so your recruiters are just going to find people that can do the job, like who can meet minimum qualifications, who's going to be in budget, who we can get in here tomorrow. But your talent acquisition folks are doing strategic hires. Who do we need to find? They probably are most times passive candidates that aren't even looking for a job. So now I not only need to attract them, but I even need to get them to apply. I need them to get them to agree to interview. And so it's very, very different between those two. Recruitment and talent acquisition is definitely just doing a lot of your hiring, but it's doing it in a different way. So the thing I definitely want to hit on is the compensation. It's going to be different. Very, very different. So for your recruitments, most times they're going to get that base salary, but their base salary is on the lower end. What makes their take-home pay, or their compensation, or their total rewards package more attractive is that they get consistent bonuses and they get consistent commissions. Most times that happens with your external recruiters that are hiring aggressively for an organization or multiple organizations at a time. They have a low base salary, but their commission, all of those bonuses, is through the roof that makes their salary comfortable. So they're literally working for their money. Now it's going to be a little bit different with your talent acquisition. Your talent acquisition professionals have a higher base salary because they're not getting a ton of commission and bonuses, if at all. It's not very common. It's more common that they're just paid really comfortable for their salary. So to give y'all some exact numbers, because y'all know me, I don't be liking to do all this playing around with the talk, and let's not talk about the numbers. And if you guys are like, Tamika, I really want to see this myself versus you just telling me the number, then go to HR.com. And in my blogs, when I talk about anything, I always put the link back to my resource. So you can get directly there and see, oh, this is what Tamika was looking at. And you can play around in it and figure out whatever salaries you want to know for whatever other positions. The salaries that I researched and got back for this compensation for the recruiter is on average $45,353 as the minimum, up to $69,253 as the maximum. So that makes the midpoint around that $57,000 range, and that's in US dollars. The difference with it and talent acquisition, your talent acquisition starts at $57,393, and that goes as high as $73,064. And let me be honest with you, I feel like this is more on the lower side because it totally depends on the industry. If you're working in a specific industry, you have extensive experience, you have industry specific experience, and you have certifications, the salary go way higher than that. So just tossing that out there, that's just an average. But let me help you out, because recruitment and talent acquisition isn't going to be found in all industries. So in recruitment, you're going to find that in all industries. But talent acquisition, you're not going to find in all industries. You're going to find talent acquisition primarily in your medical industry, your technology industry, legal and engineering industries. Not every industry. Now, your recruiter's going to be everywhere, but not your talent acquisition folks. The difference, another big difference between the two, is how they get the job done. That's way different. Some of what they use is the same, but not everything. So for a recruiter, they're primarily going to post to different job boards, particularly that company's job board, maybe their job board if they're an external staffing agency. They're going to use that applicant tracking system, and they're going to do like job fairs or events. That's primarily how they're going to find their people. Your talent acquisition folks are far more strategic about how they find applicants. So they're going to use artificial intelligence tools. If y'all have not seen my video where I told y'all all about different artificial intelligence tools, then check it out. I'll place it here. But there are artificial intelligence tools where they can find your information without you applying, without you being on LinkedIn, without you, if you have any type of social presence or public presence, they're going to find that. So they use artificial intelligence tools. They use the applicant tracking system. They use it far more extensively. It's not just to house applicants, but it's usually to look at trends, look at data, look at different skill sets, things like that, make notes, keep communication in there, show their process through there. They use groups. So professional groups, social media groups, they go and find candidates in there. Y'all, I work in talent acquisition. I find folks in groups. If that's on LinkedIn, Facebook, professional groups, I go out there and I find those folks. So it's a little bit different. They also use social media. So they're going to do a lot of publications in social media where their social media presence becomes larger because that allows more people to just view their information, and that more people will DM them. More people will comment on their things. They'll get a higher reach. They'll get more engagement. So they use social media as well. And then they also use Boolean searches. So we're going to use that Boolean searches in your artificial intelligence tools. We're going to use it on LinkedIn Recruiter. We're going to use it in the applicant tracking system. And if y'all like, Samika, what the hell is Boolean searches? I got you, because I already did a video on that too. So I'm going to post it here as well. But talent acquisition folks use Boolean searches highly, heavily. And like they use it very, very detailed and very, very strategically. And so that makes for a different process on each side. So your recruitment process is going to be like your daily or weekly fills. They're going to look at what do we need for this day, or what do we need for this week? What do we need for this month? They're not really going farther than that. And they're looking at that time frame because they want to make sure that they can get it filled before it gets worse, right? It gets way bad. And so they look at what is my daily, weekly target. And they focus on that, and they make their process, their recruitment process around that. So their process is shorter than it would be for a talent acquisition specialist. Most times they'll go through interviews, onboarding, everything in a day sometimes in 2 days, sometimes in 3 days. It's normally a very, very quick process because they're looking at immediate fills. Now, your process for your talent acquisition folks is more strategic. So they have their talent acquisition team. And with their team, they're looking at quarterly goals or quarterly targets. And from those quarterly targets, they work their way down. Now, most companies make those quarterly targets because they already have an annual goal, an annual KPI, an annual OKR. They have annual goals that they're trying to get, and then they're really focusing or zoning in on that quarter. So your talent acquisition team focuses on that quarter as well. Your talent acquisition team isn't just a whole bunch of recruiters that's going out there knocking things out, or maybe an admin assistant. Your talent acquisition team is going to include your sources, those people who are going to go through every single application, every single resume, those people who are going to go out there and do these little searches and build an applicant candidate pool to present to your talent acquisition person to reach out to them or to schedule them. Your sources can even schedule those interviews directly with that talent acquisition person. They're going to have screenings. So everyone isn't getting a formal interview. They're going to have screenings to see, should this person continue on in this process, or should this be someone that doesn't fit for this process? And then they're going to have consistent follow-ups as well. So both of them are going to have, both your recruitment and your talent acquisition is going to have your interviews and your notes from your interviews and your offer letters and things like that. But your talent acquisition team, most times they love to keep folks warm. That's a big thing for them. Not necessarily in recruitment because they get so distracted by getting that immediate fill. But for talent, they know this person might not have been good for right now or for this position, but we may be making changes in the future, and we probably want them for that. So they give very warm and continuous follow-ups so that people who may have came really close to being chosen or who have a different skill set for something else will easily say yes when they reach out to them in the future, or reach back out to talent acquisition to say, hey, do you have anything in the future? So as y'all can see, recruitment and talent acquisition is actually my thing these days. When I first started my career, I hated payroll and recruitment. Over time, I tell you, time changes things, because I can talk about recruitment and talent acquisition all day. But I will say that that was a lot to absorb. So if it was way too much to take in, then please leave it in the comments and tell me, what was your most confusing part about those two? Or did this video really clear things up for you? So for those of you who are new, I cannot wait to see you on any of my lives that I have coming up. We call those happy hour with Hey HR, and I think you'll definitely enjoy those. Or just leave me a comment below. Let me know if this video really cleared up some things for you. For those of you who are returning, keep on giving me all those video suggestions, because it definitely makes things a lot easier for me, and I want to just feed you what you're looking for. So I thank you all for watching this video, and I just cannot wait to see y'all on the next video.